Welcome to Altair Engineering Training and Support. Today in this video I am going to show you how to simulate bump for the roll cage structure using 1D elements. So the basic concept behind the bump, or to simulate the bump on the roll cage structure, will apply the forces on my roll cage structure suspension pickup points in upward direction in the frontal end, because I am considering this as the front bump analysis. You can also perform the rear bump analysis for this. With the same model, you can use both rear and front. So this process, in this tutorial I am going to show you how to perform front bump analysis. Then to perform frontal bump analysis, I am going to apply the forces on the frontal suspension pickup points in the upward direction, and applying the constraints at the rear end for all the 3 degrees of freedom, and then I'll try to simulate how the load path and stresses will be. For the bump analysis, I will follow the same process as MPCLL. That is, first step is to create material as steel, then the property as 1D beam element. Then I create component collectors to update, as already I have the component updated here. So I'll update the component property with appropriate properties. Then we define the load collectors. That is, we define 2 load collectors. One is for force, to apply forces at the frontal location. Another one is constraint, to apply the constraint at the rear end. Then we define the load step. In this type of analysis we use static analysis. So with the load step we define the type of analysis which we are going to perform using on this model using the loads and boundary condition. So let's start with opening the HyperWorks file. So go to Start, All Programs, Altair HyperWorks, HyperMesh. Once you click on HyperMesh, it will show you one of the features, and click on OK. So it will open the GUI of HyperWorks. Make sure you select the appropriate radio button, that is the user profile. For the linear static analysis, select the user profile as radius bulk data. If you select the other user profiles, you may not able to view some of the parameters like material card images, property card images, forces, constraints, location, radius button. So it may change as per the different types of solver deck you want to create. So these are the different solvers that you can create in HyperMesh. So as I'm going to use radius bulk data for my solver as a solver for my static analysis, that's why I've selected radius bulk data, and then click on OK to load this radius bulk data format user profile. Once you click OK, it will show on the top. You will see that the radius bulk data user profile has been defined. Now click on Open Folder, browse the file, so this is the file. This model is already meshed. This is the same model which I have used, which I have shown you how to create on the tutorial, that how to create 1D meshing on the roll cage structure. The same model, the final result model, I have used for the bump analysis. So in that tutorial I have already shown you how to create material properties and update the component. So with this same, so I have used the same model in which I have already defined the material property and updated the component. Also I have defined the beam section to simulate the cross section along the thickness. So as you can see here, I have defined all these parameters already. The same file I have used, which I have shown you on the how to generate 1D meshing for the roll cage structure. Now I'll just cross check it whether these elements are assigned the proper material and property or not. So from this drop box, to check whether these materials, you can also go through the color representation. If if you change the color representation through material, so it should show the color of material. If you check the material element colors through property, it should show the property color. So click on the drop down box of element color mode and click on by property. So as you can see here, it is showing the color of the property. Again, if you click on element color mode and select by matte, that is by material, it is showing the color of the material. So my elements has been assigned with the proper material and property. Again, I will move it to by component. Now as per my MPCLL process, my material has been defined, my property has been defined. I have updated the component with proper property. Now the next step is to define the load collectors. So to define the load collectors, I will click on load collector icon. Enter the load collector name as force. Select a different color so that by color itself I can find out where is the forces, and then click on create. Then click return to exit the load collector panel. So in the model browser you can see your load collector with the name of force has been created. Now I will apply this on my model. So to apply load collectors on your model, go to analysis. In analysis, click on forces. So go to analysis, forces, select the radio button as create, pick these nodes, the suspension pickup points, so on these 8 nodes I am going to apply the force in y-axis, because y-axis is the upward axis for my roll gauge. So you have to first check what will be the upward direction axis on your roll gauge, and then accordingly you have to apply the force. So I have applied y-axis, I have selected y-axis to apply the force. As I already told you, I am going to apply a force of 4G, so I will show you the calculation for it, the 4G force calculation. So 4G, if we consider weight of the vehicle as 400 kg, so G stands for 400 multiplied by 10, which is approximately 4000 Newton. And if I want to calculate 4G, that means 4 multiplied by 4000 is equals to 16,000 Newton. As I am going to apply this force at 8 suspension pickup points, so I will divide this 16,000 by 8, which will give us the value as 2000 Newton on each suspension pickup point. So a total of 4G force I am going to apply for the bump analysis. Okay. So I will enter here the magnitude as 2000. This magnitude percentage is the representing arrow. The forces are represented using arrows. So this is the size. Magnitude percentage is the size of the representing arrow of the forces. Then click on create. So as you can see, it has applied the forces at these 8 suspension pickup points. But the size of these representing arrows are very large, so you can also reduce it by changing the magnitude percentage. So here you can see these are the forces applied on my roll cage structure. Now the next step is to click return to exit the force panel. Now the next step is to apply the constraint at the rear suspension pickup points. So to apply the constraint, I have to again create one more load collector for constraint that I can define later in the load step. So to define load collector for constraint, click on load collector icon. Enter the load collector name as SPC. Define appropriate color and click on create to create the load collector. In the model browser, you can see an SPC as a load collector has been defined. Now click return to exit the load collector panel. To apply to apply constraints on your model, go to analysis. On analysis, click on constraint. To apply constraint on your model, you can go to analysis page. On analysis page, select constraint panel. Make sure you have selected create radio button. Select the nodes suspension pickup points where you want to apply the constraints. For this particular model, my suspension pickup points will be these. So different models have different suspension pickup points. So accordingly you can change the suspension pickup points. As I already told you, I am going to restrict the translation along XYZ axis. So that's why I am going to translate, I am going to fix degree of freedom 1, 2, 3. That means translation along X, translation along Y, translation along Z. DOF 1 stands for translation along X, DOF 2 stands for translation along Y, DOF 3 stands for translation along Z axis. So I am going, for this particular model, I am going to constrain these 3 degrees of freedom and click on create. This size is the representing size of these constraints are represented using triangles. So you can also increase the size of these constraint values. So you can see here the size of the constraint values has increased. So these are the location where I have applied the constraint on my model. So now I have defined all the process, that is I'll again cross check with MPCLL. I have defined M, then property P, then component C, then load collector L. Now the next step I have to define is the load step, that is to define the type of analysis I am going to perform. For this, to define the load step on in Hypermesh for Radios run, you can go to analysis page again and click on load step. Load step is used to define the type of analysis which you are going to perform. So go to analysis, click on load step panel, enter the load step name as bump analysis, select the type as linear static from the drop box, click on the drop down and select the linear static analysis. Check the box in front of SPC and load. SPC stands for single point constraint, so select SPC as SPC and load as force. Then click on create to create the load step. Again in the model browser you can see the load step for bump analysis has been defined. Then click on return to exit the load step panel. Now as I have defined the complete process, that is MPCLL, so now I will save this file and solve this using Radios and then view the results using Hyperview. So first of all I want to save this file. To run the analysis I have to create one folder so that all the files during the solver process it generates some files, so it will be in one single folder. So on the later stage I can use that file for different types of applications. So click on save as, create a new folder as bump analysis, save the HM file saying as bump analysis. So I have saved this file. You can see here in HyperVox GUI you can itself see the directory where you have saved the HM file. Now to solve this, you can click on Analysis, Radios. So click on Analysis, Radios, select the export option to all, run option to analysis, memory option to default memory. Click the Save As button to save the FEM file which contains the elements, loads and boundary conditions and load step, and then click on Radios to start the solver. So once you click on Radios, it will start the solving process. As you can see here, the job completed, you can see the message. Also, it will show you the message as analysis completed. So once you see these messages, that is analysis completed, click on results to open the results of bump analysis on displacement and stress in Hyperview. Hyperview is a post processor through which you can view the animation plots, the displacement path, the stress load path. So whenever you open the Hyperview, it will show you one message log, that is the license will expire, how much days are left. Click close to close this message log window. So this is the HyperWorks GUI, Hyperview GUI, in which you can see the results of displacement and stress. Also you can view the animation plot of the displacement. So first of all, we will see what was the displacement for my bump analysis. So click on contour icon to view the displacement. Click on contour icon, select the result type as displacement, select the magnitude, that is for all the 3 axes, and then click on apply. So it will show you the displacement plot on the roll cage structure. Similarly, select the result type as elemental stress. For 1D elements, most of the time it's better to view C-bar, C-beam axial stresses. Say averaging method simple and apply. So you can see, due to the bump analysis of applying the 4G load, to find out the maximum stress value, you can click on measure icon, check the box in front of static mean max result. We don't require the minimum stress on my model, where the minimum stresses is coming. We mostly require the area where the maximum stresses are coming. So just off this checkbox as minimum. So this is the maximum value where my stresses are coming, that is, and the value is 143 Newton per mm square. So this is the location where maximum stresses due to the bump analysis or due to the application of force in positive y direction of 4G as I am facing here. So as I have applied a very high load, that's why the stresses are very high. You can lower down some of the values of loading conditions. That is, you can also go through apply for 3G load, that will be more than sufficient. So according to your roll cage structure, you can change on the loading conditions and the suspension pickup points. The aim of this tutorial is to show you how to perform the bump analysis using Radios. The values can be changed from one roll cage structure to another. So the forces, the constraint location may change or may vary from structure to structure. They are not fixed. So as per your roll cage structure, you can input any other values. So this tutorial, the aim of this tutorial is to show how to create a deck in Hypermesh, how to run this model using Radios, and how to view the results in Hyperview. I'll again go to Hyperview panel and show you if I want to see the animation plot due to the bump analysis. So you can just click on the play icon here and decrease the frame time from this bar to view the animation. So you can see here, this is the animation plot. Sometimes if the displacement is very less, around 1 mm or 2 mm, so it will not show you the displacement or the deformation of the structure. So to view the deformation of the structure more reliably, click on this deformed icon and just magnify this displacement value. So it will just magnify it, the visualization, it has magnified the visualization. So if the displacement value is very less, you can magnify it to view the displacement plot. But as for this structure, my magnification, so these are the displacement values. So in this way, I have ended this video of the bump analysis.